When you hear the name Genghis Khan, you probably picture a massive, chaotic horde of horsemen sweeping across the plains, destroying everything in their path. But the truth is, the Mongol army was the exact opposite of chaotic. Under Genghis Khan, the Mongols built the most disciplined, technologically adaptable, and innovative military machine the world had ever seen. Today, we're breaking down the military innovations that allowed a group of nomadic tribes to conquer the largest contiguous land empire in human history, the ultimate soldier. Let's start with the individual Mongol soldier. These guys were essentially the ultimate ancient special forces. Because they learned to ride almost before they could walk, Mongol cavalrymen could maneuver a galloping horse using only their legs. This left both of their hands completely free to shoot a deadly rain of arrows while on the move. But they weren't just archers. Every single soldier was fully equipped with a bow, arrows, a shield, a dagger, and a lasso. They even carried specialized lances equipped with hooks, designed specifically to yank enemy riders right off their horses in the heat of battle. And here is one of their absolute coolest survival hacks. Every cavalryman carried a large waterproof saddlebag for their food, spare clothes, and tools. When the army hit a deep, fast-moving river, they didn't wait around for engineers to build a bridge. They simply inflated their waterproof saddlebags, used them as life preservers, and floated right across. Command and control. So, you have these incredible individual warriors, but how do you control a massive army of 80,000 highly mobile fighters on a chaotic battlefield? Genghis Khan solved this with a brilliantly simple organization system. He completely broke down old tribal loyalties and restructured his entire military into units of 10, 100, and 1,000, known as a mingan. He even created an elite 10,000-strong bodyguard unit called the Keshig, made up of the sons of his commanders to ensure absolute, unquestionable loyalty. To coordinate these massive units without modern radios, the Mongols developed a highly sophisticated communication network. Instead of relying solely on messengers who could get killed or lost, they used a system of large drums to sound commands to charge. For complex troop movements over vast distances, they used smoke signals, burning torches, and a precise system of signal flags. It was like a silent, deadly ballet. The mobile city now. The old saying goes that an army marches on its stomach, and historical armies usually relied on vulnerable, static supply lines. If you cut the line, the enemy starves. Genghis Khan essentially said, what if the supply line is the army? Instead of leaving their supplies behind, the entire Mongol army was followed by a highly organized logistical train of ox carts. This mobile city carried food and military equipment for both the soldiers and their animals. But it wasn't just beans and arrows. The supply train included shamans who acted as medics and provided spiritual aid, and even specialized administrative officials whose sole job was to meticulously catalogue all the captured booty. This self-sufficient mobile base allowed the Mongols to strike with unprecedented speed and independence, tactics, and adaptability. On the battlefield, Genghis Khan was a tactical genius. He used complex and deceptive formations, like the lake formation, to spread his forces out as if to flank the enemy, or the chisel formation for a devastating, focused frontal assault. But perhaps his greatest military innovation was his open mind. He had no loyalty to past methods if something else worked better, and he was incredibly quick to adopt new technologies from his enemies. When the Mongols encountered heavily fortified walled cities, they didn't just smash their heads against the gates. They absorbed Chinese siege engineering, Persian administrative practices, and Turkish communication methods to conquer and hold new territory. And we have to mention their use of psychological warfare. The Mongols used terror as a calculated weapon. Populations that resisted were often massacred as a brutal warning. These massacres were designed to alert unconquered cities of the consequences of fighting back, encouraging future enemies to surrender without a single arrow being fired. Genghis Khan didn't accidentally conquer the world. He built a merit-based, highly adaptable, and technologically synthesized army that out-organized and outmaneuvered everyone else. He took the rugged survival skills of the steppe nomad and weaponized them into an unstoppable force. If you enjoyed this deep dive into military history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments, what historical army or figure should we break down next? Thanks for watching.